Hey guys, I'm back. This video is going to be about ways to organize some things, maybe give you some tips and tricks that maybe you hadn't thought about. So I'm hoping that some of the things I share with you today that I am doing to organize my brain and my life leading up from now till Christmas, keeping everything organized and keep my brain not from going crazy will help you. But before I get into some of those things, I'm going to give a little recap of what you've missed over the last few months. I looked and the last video I posted was June 27th. I cannot believe it's been that long. So I posted all of our school stuff that we were going to be using, our curriculum and all that, because we started back the week after July 4th. We always start back that week because I know we're going to take so many breaks. We don't take a huge summer break. I think we usually try to get done like the end of May, so we have the full month of June off. And then the first week in July, like after July 4th and around the week of my birthday, which is the week after, we kind of start easing back into the school year, and then there's breaks all along the way. So that's why we take kind of a short summer break. But anyway, since that video, we started back school. We're still using all this, well, most of all the same curriculum. I did switch, I don't know if I posted a video of it, but I switched my daughter's Spanish and my 10th grader. I switched her Spanish. I may show y'all that a little bit later. And then I didn't really switch her math, but she was doing Algebra 1. We have moved on to geometry, stepped up to that. I'm trying to think. I don't think anything else has changed on as far as that goes. But school's just kind of just going. Those things got a little iffy for us, so we switched that up. But other than that, everything's going pretty smooth. They like everything. Maybe around Christmas, which is our halfway point, I'll post a video kind of doing an update of how things are going and what we like and don't like about some of the curriculum we're using. But I do have a video of all that, the curriculum, like reveals and flip throughs and stuff. You just have to go through my playlist and you can find that. And then, like, we've had a lot of health stuff going on. My oldest daughter has got scoliosis. We did physical therapy for that, and that took a lot of time. We have, let's see, what else? My husband is now sleeping with a CPAP machine. We've had a lot of stuff going on with him. He had some stuff going on with his foot. Just a lot of back and forth doctor appointments. And then work. Finances are hard on everybody right now, so I've been having to work a lot. I work outside of the home. If you don't know our situation, my husband stays home and does the homeschooling overseeing. We do our independent-led, like student-led kind of stuff. So my son's not old enough to be doing school yet, but my daughters do their own thing. Like, they can complete their work by themselves for the most part. So, and then once a week, they always come with me for anything they need mom help with. They come to work with me. But anyway, I won't get into all that, but it's just kind of going smooth other than, I guess it's the health stuff. My last video, you saw I had both my cats, I think, were up here on the bed, and we have since then had to put down the Calico Cat, Blossom. She was 17. She would have been 18 years old this month. No, last month. This is already November 2nd. In October, she would have been 18. So she was just about 18 years old, and we had to put her down. So that was pretty rough on all of us for a while. Trying to think if there's anything else going on. I'll probably think of it while I'm doing this video, but I'm gonna go ahead and get into the video. This has been on my mind because this is what I've been working on here lately, getting my plan in place, doing a Christmas shopping and all that. So I'm gonna just give you, I don't know how many, I don't have like a bullet list of numbers of how many of these ideas I've got. I just started writing my notes. And making a list, which is the first rule or the first tip that I'm going to give you is to make a list. So if you have 50 million things going on, like most people do, or you're just in a time where your brain's just not braining and you need help getting everything organized and you don't want to forget stuff and you just want to make it easier on yourself, I'm going to give you some tips for that on things that I do to make it easier on me. Like I said, I make a list for everything. When I'm doing my videos, I make a list. I just brainstorm, I write it all out. But as far as dealing with like Thanksgiving, Christmas, or whatever holidays you're going to be doing, get-togethers and all that, first thing I would recommend is having a calendar. If you don't normally keep a calendar, I don't know how you do life. I'm amazed at people that can do these things and not keep a calendar to keep notes and dates and appointments and all that kind of stuff. I use the calendar on my phone. Before I had the smartphone or whatever, I had a calendar. I had a paper calendar. I carried a calendar with me, a planner, whatever. Like, I've always had to have a calendar. And as I've gotten older and have more kids, I definitely have to have a calendar to keep all the important dates. I keep notes on my calendar. We have a get-together to go to. I'll put the date and the place, and I'll put a note of what I'm supposed to take because I will forget. So definitely keep a calendar. Even if you don't normally keep a calendar, you can print some calendars out. I thought I had one here. I don't. leading into like October, November, or September gets busy for us. So September, October, and on, I will print a paper calendar, just a regular piece of paper calendar. I think Print a Calendar. I'll put a link to it. I've linked it before because I talk about calendars all the time. I think it's like printacalendar.com, like print dash. I'll put it in the notes. Go there, print a free calendar, or any other calendar place, any other website you can find that you can, or app or whatever. Just print a calendar and just rough draft. Put all of the important dates of things that you are expected to participate in. Anything that you expect your kids to participate in, that you're going to have to be present, or you're going to have to take snacks, or, you know, whatever. Just write down all the important dates so that you can just see it all in one broad general glance. You can see all the things that you have to do. And then I suggest making a list. Lots of lists for all different things. And I'll share with you the kind of lists that I make. My first list that I recommend is for food. So you write down, let me see if I can find it. I've got a notebook. I use just a cheap little notebook. I don't recommend going and getting those expensive planners. Like you can get people will give away or sell free holiday planners. I'm not going to say go print one of those out or go buy one. This is just a single spiral notebook. I've got it separated. I got a little tab here. So the front of this has my YouTube video notes, and the second half has just like my life notes. So I've got a list of upcoming meals. And I've already got some marked off because I started doing this a couple weeks ago. I made a list. I put the dates and I put what the meal was. Like we've got the last one I just marked off was a fall festival at our church, and we took some food. I didn't take much, but I wrote it down because I was going to forget. So write down the date. I write down what the event is, and I just number them, just rough draft. My next one I've got is Thanksgiving at our church. So we'll have a meal with my church on Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and I'm going to be taking some sides. So I have that wrote down for my next meal. And then Thanksgiving Day, the day after Thanksgiving, we do something. All the Christmas meals. I have a whole list of things. We've got a birthday coming up. My son's birthday is in December, so I've got that wrote down. Make a list, just rough draft it. Don't have to be detailed or anything, but just go ahead so that you can kind of brain dump and put down a list of all the meals that you're going to have to participate in. Does your kid, are you going to have a meal or something that you have to take snacks for at school? Are they going to have a Christmas party that you got to take food for? Are you going to have a work party that you have to take snacks for or be in charge of something? Just list it day by day, week by week, in order, chronological order, of everything that you might have to participate in. I go back in my calendar and look at the year before. So like when I'm planning November, I'll go back and look at last November, and I'll look to see if there was anything that I forgot about that we did last year that I didn't put in my calendar for this year, and I'll write that down as a possibility. I'd rather go ahead and plan for it, have a little bit of extra food in the house that can be used for something else if that falls through and we don't have to participate in that, than to have the event come up and completely forget about it until the day before and have to rush out and get food to fix something. Or have to spend more money than I would want to because I have to go buy something that's more convenient. So any possibility of something to participate in for food, make a list, write it down. And then from that, and we're still talking about food. And I said I don't recommend the planners, but one planner I do like is the Minimal Mom does a holiday planner, and I think you can get it for free. I don't know if you have to go look at one of her videos or go to her website. I got it through an email. She sent out the free holiday planner. I didn't print the whole thing. I have in the past, but I didn't use all of it. That's why I don't recommend it. Unless you look at it and you're going to use all of it and you love it, go ahead and print it all. That's what she put it out there for. And it's a good planner. I just am not going to tell you to go print it because I don't know if you're going to use it all. But one of the things that she does is the meal planner, event meal planner. So I like this. I print a bunch of these. I made my list of all the different meals that we have coming up, and then I printed one of these. I did it front and back for some of them to save some paper, but I printed one of these for each of those meals so that I could have this and put it on my freezer here at home so that even my family, because I'm not the only one cooking. My husband will cook. My 14-year-old will cook. Everybody's going to pitch in on this stuff. So I put these things up so that as, the week ahead of time, they can see that we have this event coming up and that they're going to have to be cooking something so that we don't, we can all collectively remember this thing that is coming up and fix the food for it. And it helps me to remember like the week before or 2 weeks before to put the meal ingredients that we're going to need on our grocery list. So it's just keeps it right out there in front. I'm not going to forget anything because I have it like pretty much doubly wrote down. I have it on my list, and then I have the individual meal, and I write down exactly what we're going to be fixing for that meal. And if there's any extra ingredients that we don't normally have, I'll go ahead and write that down so that it can be put on the grocery list for that week or the week before. Now, aside from food, another list is definitely your Christmas budget. I call it a list. It's not really a list. I'm a spreadsheet nerd, so I make a Christmas spreadsheet. I have had a Christmas spreadsheet that I have kept up with for over 10 years. My daughter's 14. I think I started it before she was even born. I had it on paper when my husband and I were first married, but I put one on an actual Excel spreadsheet years and years ago, and I use the same one every year. I've added kids to it. I've added family members to it. The number has changed, how much we're spending on each other over the years, but I keep that spreadsheet, and I use it every year. So if you don't do something like that, at least make a list. You can just use a notebook and start out with your list. You can separate it by, your side of the family, spouse's side of the family. You can just start it off at the top of, like oldest to youngest of who you buy for. And that's also another brain dump that you can do to get the stress off your brain so that you don't have to try to remember everybody to buy a present for, and if you've bought it and where it's at and how much you spent. Write it down. Write down who you need to buy for, how much money you want to spend on it. Even if you don't do a detailed budget, just to not have to keep all that information in your brain of who you've bought for, and if you've already bought the present, it helps so much. So write down who you need to buy for, even the possibilities, like your kids' classroom. Obviously we homeschool, so we don't have a classroom to buy for, but we have Sunday school class. And then aside from that, we have like our Sunday school teachers. Do you have anybody at work? Like, do you buy something for your boss? Do you do a game at work where, like the Dirty Santa, Secret Santa, something like that, the White Elephant, whatever you call it? Do you do a game like that you're going to have to buy like a $10 or $15 or $20 gift for? Write that down. Is your husband going to do something at his work that he has to buy something for? There's just so many different things. Do your kids play sports? Are they going to buy something for their coach? Just write everybody down. Write down every possibility. And that also helps with your budget. I keep up with my budget year round. Like I will start my Christmas budget for Christmas 2025 in December of 2024. So my savings stops in November and starts over for the next Christmas in December. And I'm already planning the next year. I try to be done with Christmas shopping by the 1st of November or 1st of December. So it helps with your budget too, to not come up with, the week before your kids being like, I've got a Christmas party with my volleyball team or whatever. Or like for us, my Sunday school class is doing a party, or, I need to take a $5 gift. If it's any possibility of a gift that you're going to have to participate in, go ahead and write it down. Make a full list, and then you can divide it up. Once you have everything written down, then you can divide it up like your side of the family over here, spouse's side of the family on this side, school stuff here, church stuff here. Just however you need to divide it up, and then you can, it helps me because I try to keep everybody kind of even. So like the kids on this side of the family get the same money amount spent as the kids on this side of the family, that kind of thing. Or like the grandparents, we try to split evenly, spend the same amount of money on everybody. And then even for our family, I keep it wrote down. I keep up with everything we buy and how much we spend because I try to keep it pretty even. So definitely make a Christmas gift list. Now, I'm going to go back to the food because I don't know, that's just a lot of the stress for me, I think. I've kind of got the gifts down pat. I try to shop ahead. I try to get stuff that's on sale, and like I said, I've had my Christmas spreadsheet for years, so it doesn't really sneak up on me having to buy gifts. I try to plan for everything. And for those surprise gifts that come up, I have a box in my closet that's our gift box. Like my kids even know, go look in the gift box in my closet. They know exactly what I'm talking about. I have a tote box in my closet that we keep extra stuff. Like maybe I ordered something for my kids and we got extras of it, or I don't know, maybe they got something for Christmas that they didn't like. It was a good product, or they got double of something and they weren't going to use that second thing. We go put it in the gift box. I buy something on accident, like I double buy something for a gift because I didn't follow my list and I got a good item and I can't return it. I throw it in the gift box, and we can dig out of that for upcoming things. I looked in there, we had to look in there yesterday for something, and I realized that I had a couple of good things that I'm probably going to use for when we do like the White Elephant Christmas, or the Dirty Santa or whatever. not the one where you get the gag gifts, but the actual, like, you take a wrapped gift but no name on it, one of those games. I've got a couple of things that would be good for like a $10, $15, $20 gift in that box. I won't have to buy that this year. So I keep that. That may be an idea for you, or like you get, I don't know, I've got baby stuff in there too, because my son is just about to turn 3, and he's gotten some gifts over the last 2-3 years that we didn't use everything of. It was definitely good stuff that I would have used. We just didn't use it. Or it's a product that we didn't use, even though I know it's a good product. It was just something that's not something that we use. I threw it in the box. So I've got like packs of passies and things like that. Stuff that we just didn't use. They're fine. We would have. We just didn't use them. So I threw it in there. I've got gifts that we can use and pull out of. So yeah, that was one I wasn't even thinking about sharing with y'all, but having a gift box that you can pull stuff out of, like having a prize box in your house, would be a good idea if you've got stuff left over that you don't know what to do with, but it's good items that you don't want to throw away. All right, I'm going to go back to the food. That is a big thing for me. Like I said, that's like the stress thing for me, is having to buy food. I hate having to run to the grocery store 2, 3, 4 times a week. That gets on my nerves so bad. So I try to make the list and be prepared for that. One of the things I do, like I told you, I've already made my list. I already know what sides, pretty well know what sides we're going to be making for the meals that we have. Most of the meals that we participate in is where you just take a side. Like our church provides the meat and we take side dishes. And a lot of times for these meals coming up, they're not assigned. Sometimes we have assigned things that we take, but most of the time these are just a kind of potluck style, and you just bring a side. And then like my family get-togethers, side dishes. My husband and I usually take care of the main meat for my mom's side of the family, like cooking it. But then we also take sides. So if there are ingredients that you're going to have to be buying that you don't normally keep in your house, but it is something that's shelf stable, you can go ahead and buy it while it's on sale. You can go ahead and be looking in October and November for something that you're not going to cook until December. Or I even have my New Year's stuff planned on here, because we're not, and then even further for Christmas, because my husband's side of the family, we aren't doing Christmas until January. So I've got my list of, my calendar running way out into January. So I have my New Year's meals planned on here too. So anything that's shelf stable or that you can put in the freezer, go ahead and buy it while it's on sale. Most of my stuff always circles around to saving money, because I'm all about that kind of stuff. So if I can buy it was on sale, instead of running to the grocery store the night before I need it and having to get it at a full price, I am totally going to do that. So make your list, have your ingredients list, and ahead of time that you've got that stuff ready to go. And so you have it there ready and on hand when you're ready to fix that food. All right, another food tip, disposable food containers. For things like at my church, usually our stuff goes in a crock pot, but where I can, I'll get aluminum foil pans. Usually the stores will run deals on them between now and Christmas. And if it's something that I can put in an aluminum foil pan and not have to worry about getting my container when the event is done, I'll go ahead and do that. It just makes life easier. If I'm not the one cleaning up at the event, so other people can just, if the container is empty, they can just trash it. And if it's something that I just don't want to clean, I'll go ahead and but I'm going to be bringing it home, I'll go ahead and put it in some sort of aluminum foil pan and be able to just throw it away when I get home, and I don't have to worry about dirty dishes. And then another not disposable thing, but something that I do for leftovers, and I cleaned out my pantry recently, and I found a pack of like Gladware containers that my husband had gotten last year, and he got 2 or 3 packs, and we didn't even open one of them, and it's still in the top of the pantry. So we still have that, and I may buy another one. We do our Christmas for my husband's side of the family here at home, so he had bought those for leftovers, and some of the family likes to take some of the food home. So having those cheap like Gladware containers, plastic containers, or whatever you want to use for that kind of thing, having those on hand really, really helped out last year. So if somebody sees some dessert and they really want to take some of it home, you're not going to be searching through your cabinets and hoping that you get your container back that you're lending out to somebody. You can just go ahead and have some cheap, that you don't care if you get them back or not, containers with matching lids. You can pack up them some leftovers and send them on their way with it, and not worry about if you get your container back. And you can even tell them, keep the container. It's like a Christmas gift. So definitely look for some of those cheap containers. If you like that idea, because you can especially get those like between now and Christmas, like everything goes on sale at some point on their sale rotation. So you can find this stuff on sale, or you can get them at the Dollar Tree. And then the rotation just made me think having meals on rotation is a good idea. Go ahead and when you're making your list of meals, go ahead and be thinking of what is the easy meals for you to cook that, it doesn't require much brain power. It doesn't require much prep for those nights that you're going to be busy between now and Christmas, or like you're going to have a really crazy day. You're going to be on your feet all day with some sort of get together, and you're not going to feel like cooking supper that night or the next day, and you just want something easy. Go ahead and have like a rotation of meals. Go ahead and have, 2 or 3 easy meals that your family likes, even if it's not the healthiest thing. Something that you can fix without thinking about it. And not putting much effort into it. And make sure you keep those ingredients on hand for those nights when it's just, you don't feel like cooking anything. Your spouse doesn't feel like cooking anything, and you can throw together something really easy. This still pertains to cooking, but then it also has to do with the calendar. When you're planning out your days of what you're going to be doing, what get-togethers you're going to be going to, go ahead and try to plan some days to do the stuff that you need to do for yourself and for your family. You're looking ahead and seeing all the activities, all the get-togethers you got to go to, all the school activities, the church activities. Go ahead and write in the days that you're going to do stuff for yourself. Write in the day that you're going to decorate your house. Write in the time that you're going to watch a movie with your family. Do you like watching the Christmas movies or whatever? Is there a certain movie or movies that you want to watch with your family? If you don't put in a time and be intentional about when you're going to do your family stuff, you'll get so wrapped up in doing the stuff for everybody else. And I know that's what Christmas is all about, is, giving things to other people, but you don't want to get burnt out. And if there's something that, you're going to feel really bad about at the end of the year and Christmas is done and you didn't do this annual traditional thing with your family and you really want to do it, go ahead and put in the time in your calendar and say that this is the day you're going to do it, so that it gets done. Some of the things that we like to do is we don't spend the money and go see expensive lights somewhere. We throw the kids in the car and we drive around where we live. We drive around the county at different places. We know some of the good neighborhoods that do really cool Christmas lights. So we'll pick a day through the week. We'll go on a weeknight, Sorry, I had to stop there for a second. Or, like I said, watching a movie, or, I don't know, going and picking out your Christmas tree. Just whatever things that you want to do for your family, write that in your calendar that you're going to get those things done, so that you do plan for it and they don't get forgotten. And then thinking about needing to do things for your own family, you don't have to volunteer for everything is one of my other tips. You don't have to volunteer for everything at your kid's school, at work. Go ahead and have... When you're planning these things coming up, go ahead and have in the back of your mind the things that you are not going to volunteer for. Maybe think of it like you're going to do these things every other year. You're going to volunteer for your kids' class, whatever activity, every other year, and this year is not the year for it. So just go ahead and, if you're the kind of person that doesn't like to tell people no, go ahead and help yourself work up the courage to let them know that you're going to have to skip out this year. Just tell them your plate is full. That's just not going to work out for you this year. Whatever you got to tell them. But don't volunteer for everything if you don't want to. Don't run yourself ragged where you have nothing left of yourself when it comes down to Christmas Day and you just are done. Just don't be so hard on yourself. Don't feel like you have to volunteer for everything and you don't have to participate in everything. Okay, I've got 3 more tips. A whole house declutter. I have not gotten all the way through this one. I've gotten my kitchen done. I'm working on clothes next. But doing a whole house declutter before Christmas, y'all hear the chickens in the background. I don't know if that's my chickens or my neighbor's chickens, but there's chickens outside my bedroom window. Anyway, whole house declutter. I've started it. I haven't finished it yet. Minimal Mom, she's got a book for decluttering your house. I don't know where. I thought I had it sitting here. I recommend it. I use it. I use it every time I do a whole house declutter, just as a guideline to follow to know which room and which step to go to next. But anyway, doing a whole house declutter, I'd highly recommend that. And getting your house, kind of a reset for before you decorate for Christmas and then start doing all the cooking and your kids get Christmas presents brought into the house and you have to go through all that kind of stuff. I definitely recommend decluttering your house before Christmas. And then to go along with that, another tip is to get a cleaning system in place if you don't already have one. If you're usually, just clean it when it gets dirty kind of person and you don't already have a system in place, I recommend a system. If you've got older kids, make sure they are pitching in and they are doing their part. Kind of automate the cleaning system, make a list of what needs to be done every day, every week. Let your family know that this is the things that needs to be done, and just, get the basic things done every week so that you don't have to think about it, and you don't have to be trying to, do the house cleaning on top of doing the baking and the Christmas shopping and all that kind of stuff. Some sort of cleaning routine in place would definitely help out. And then this isn't really, I guess, an extra tip because I've already talked about this, but use your calendar. Use those lists. Look at them every day if you need to. I don't keep information in my brain if I don't have to. It took me a while to learn that, but I write stuff down so that I don't have to remember it. I don't need to try to remember 15 million things when I can make a list and look at it daily. So I look at my list, I look at my calendar, I check the calendar on my phone, I check this, I double check my grocery list, for things that we need to do for this upcoming weekend or the next week. You make the list, don't forget about them. If you make the list, make sure you use them. Put them in a place that you can, carry it around with you. I've got, like I said, I've got this cheap notebook. I get these in packs of like 10 or 12 every year off of Amazon. Not every year, maybe every other year. My kids use them for school. I use them for brain dumping and keeping lists and things. Just a regular notebook, carry it around with you. I throw mine in my work bag and carry it with me, and I'll glance at it at work when I have some time. I keep it, look at it in the evenings, make sure I've got everything in my calendar, but use your list and keep looking at them. All right, that's all I have for you today. If you have any ideas that I didn't mention, how about dropping them in the comments and we can all share those ideas, and I will see y'all in the next video.